What's poppin', world? Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Yet once again, we got a controversial discussion that we got to talk about this morning. So without further ado, y'all read the title, let's get right into it. Now, this is what I would do only if I was in position, just talking hypothetically, whether I am or I'm actually not in position, to buy a house in 2024. Just like with anything, or most things, you want to do your due diligence and do your research. Therefore, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take everything I'm saying to the bank. This is all just speculation from my personal point of view, and I just would like to share that with y'all just in case this might be some valuable, insightful information, right? So if you guys are paying attention to the Federal Reserve, and as far as the Federal Reserve, estimating or guesstimating they're supposed to be cutting rates 3 times this year, you would say, hey, that would be a good thing, because the lower the rates, the easier it is to borrow money that has less interest on it, right? But in comparison to the CPI inflation report that just came out not too long ago, seems like inflation is accelerating, right? All right, just my bad, y'all. I'm just going ahead talking and driving, make sure I'm doing everything safe. But yeah, inflation, the rate of inflation isn't massively going up, but is going up in reverse to the whole reason of why they raised rates in the first place, which is to slow the economy down, to make sure things wasn't going accelerating as far as in price, so that way wages could be within striking range of being able to be afforded to be afford certain assets like buying a car or buying a house, or taking loans out to start a business, so on and so forth, right? So if you guys are looking to buy a house, because there's going to be a sweet spot if they were to do it. Now, here's my conspiracy theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, as ironic as that might be, but I do have a theory. I'll leave it at that. I feel like they're going to cut rates anyway, right? And it has nothing to do with any kind of smart, ideal economy strategy, right? I don't think they're going to sit up there and, oh yeah, we're going to cut the rates because it's better for the everyday, citizen in America. I feel like the economy is going to be weaponized against the American people just because it's an election year. And I feel like to put the votes on an even playing field, they got to lower the rates to make sure that, the current president in his office, has at least a chance to, go up against, Trump, right? Because if the economy is bad around election time, then that'll be, that alone, that alone could probably just make sure Trump wins in a landslide, right? And I'm not saying that the Federal Reserve is or isn't, ganging up against Donald Trump. Like I said, it's just my theory, but I do feel like because of that, they're gonna cut those rates at least twice, in my opinion. So let me get to the point. The point is that there's going to be a sweet spot, at least I think it is. And what I mean by that is, as soon as the rates come down, and you're looking at the stock market and so on and so forth, This applies to the stock market as well. But if you're looking at the housing market, things are gonna increase. It's gonna increase. The property value is gonna increase, right? It's gonna get to a certain point to where in 2025, if they keep cutting rates, you know, the discrepancy between the haves and the have-nots is gonna be more prominent, right? And honestly, I've heard this from a video, you know, they're talking about maybe this might be a country of renters. You know, other countries have higher rental, you know, percentages. And they're saying that, hey, you know, home ownership, at least buying, you know, a regular medium family home might be out of reach for the everyday person in comparison to how it used to be. Because, you know, you got all these corporations putting their money together like BlackRock and buying up these homes and renting them out to people. And, you know, they're just buying up homes like stocks on the market, you know? Hey. And then just collecting the dividends, if you will, you know, from the people that's renting it, if you want to complete that equation, right? So I would probably buy a house sometime in December. Sometimes in the winter. Sometime in the winter, because I feel like if they do cut the rates, and yeah, you're gonna be getting whacked up, you know, as far as how high the interest rate may or may not be. But if they continue to cut them and you buy it at a 7% interest rate and you got a house worth $400,000, and say in 2025 they do 3 to 5 interest cut rates or Fed cuts, they may be towards leaning closer to 2026. Yeah, interest rates might be 5 to 4%, maybe somewhere in the fives. But that $400,000 house might be a $500,000 or $550,000 house, right? So even though you're gonna be paying less interest, your mortgage is gonna be the same because you're paying more on the property value on the back end. So I mean, I don't know if there's any real estate agents or, you know, people like that watching this video and stuff like that, people that actually have an expertise, you know, y'all can go ahead and leave some thoughts, you know, and stuff below. Share that with the people. With that being said, comment, like, subscribe. More videos on the way. I'm about it.